Hi, I know it's dark, but this is the best spot for me to connect to you guys right now in the way that I want to, multi-dimensionally. I wanted to bring up the concept of ego death. So many people talk about killing the ego, like it's our mission to kill the ego, we have to kill the ego. This is right off the bat, is very aggressive. But also it is unnecessary because the death of the ego is a very organic process that if we just allow it will flow. And it is inevitable. Because as we go through experiences and then we outgrow those experiences, we go through these ego deaths. We go through them periodically. We're going to go through them over and over again at pinnacle times in our lives. It's a natural occurrence. It's a natural byproduct of awakening. So we realize, oh, you know what? I don't really want to do this thing that I've done for years and years. I don't really want to do that anymore. It's like this moment of presence where we just realize, oh, I've been on autopilot here. In this moment, I don't actually want this. And then so long as we can maintain that awareness, we create that kind of an awakening in all areas of our lives. And we ask ourselves in each moment, is this what I want to be doing? Is this what I want to be thinking? And then we just have these great shifts all at once. And it's a very powerful feeling. It shatters the personality that was a reflection of a collection of all of those old choices and programs. That personality is gone. It's all of a sudden, who am I? Wow. I thought I was that. Now what do I want to be? Well, first of all, who are you? Who are you consistently? Who is the changeless you? Who is that? Because that's where it begins. And that is the lens through which we need to examine the second part of it, which is, okay, now what do I want to do with this? What is this, who I am? This being here on this mission to do whatever it is you're here to do, your purpose, your mission. Whatever you believe that to be, that's why you're here, right? And so what is the ego in relation to that? It's not something that needs to be killed. It's something that needs to be worked with in harmony. We understand our purpose. Now how can we use our ego to achieve that purpose here in this world? What is the ego, the personality? It's constantly changing. It's dying and it's being reborn based on our decisions, who we decide we want to be in each moment. Again, it's about remembering who we truly are at our core, but at the same time remembering that we are always shifting our personality to further align with our purpose. And so we don't need to kill the ego. That'll happen naturally, like I said. But what we want to do consistently is befriend the ego, create a harmonious, synergistic relationship between the ego and the higher self, an ego in service of spirit. So we don't need to kill the ego. Yes, ego death is a very natural process in life, but we don't need to force that. It's very organic. What we do with the ego, the only thing we need to be concerned with is making sure that the ego is in service of the highest self. That's all. Ego is very purposeful because you don't need ego when you're going within, when you're talking to yourself on an inner plane. There's no need for it. But when we're in these bodies and we're connecting with these other bodies in this world, on this plane, on this physical plane, the ego very much has a purpose. How do we communicate? What are the things that we are attracted to? Because that's going to determine where we're bringing our message, where we're communicating our message. How could we have an outward voice if we didn't have this ego? It's our character in this world. And it's beautiful. And it will always change. And so we always have to just keep checking in and making sure that we are present in our decision of, hey, is this still in service of my highest? Are my choices right now still in service for my highest good, for our highest good as one? Because if you think about it, if we're always changing and this natural, organic flow of ego, death, and rebirth is constantly happening, then why would we have to worry about pushing anything else. We would realize that what I'm trying to say is we would realize that our materializations would reflect that process of the death and the rebirth of the ego constantly. So of course there's going to be a lot of shifting, and we have to make sure that we maintain our presence when we ask ourselves, is this still in alignment? We should expect the change. It's the only thing that is guaranteed is change. So just keep checking in and there will be no problem. But don't, fail to remember that everything is based on change. This entire reality. Anyway, I just had to reflect upon that a little bit. So thanks for joining me, you guys. Whoever tuned in. I see you. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on ego, death, and rebirth. I believe a lot of us are going through it right now, and it can be very, it can be all sorts of things. It can be exciting, it can be fun, it can be scary, it can be overwhelming. Yeah, so what are your experiences with that when you come to those points of really needing to all at once let go of who you thought you were? Did you acknowledge in those moments the expansion? Did you allow that to feel good? Or were there thoughts and maybe fears, doubts in the way of allowing you to feel that goodness, that expansiveness, maybe attachments, things that kept you limited, closed up, and therefore not receptive to the actual miracle that was unfolding? These are some things that I've experienced, certainly over and over, and it's okay to experience those things, and that's why we're here. And it's good to share. It's good to share about those experiences. All right, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to do a reading here in a little bit. So I haven't done a reading since the full moon, but I'm really excited about the upcoming Cancer new moon. So check in a little bit. I will be going live with my tarot deck. Thank you.